I was sitting on my couch and my husband's watching a show and I just started hysterical crying. And he's like, "Why are you crying?" I said, "I want to help everyone, but I only have two hands."
While it may sound like a ticket brokerage, Front Row Live is actually a fashion concierge sourcing luxury items from around the world. Whether it's the out-of-stock Prada loafer or the hard-to-find Chanel bag, Jennifer Nisan is confident she can find it, even though you can't. With over 100 requests coming in just one day, Jen utilizes the network she built across the industry and really hustles to deliver products to her clients who can't find it on their own.
I was definitely interesting. I was always trying new things. I was in 6th grade trying to put on black nail polish. I was in 4th grade trying to buy these like new cool Steve Madden sneakers. I was always looking, always in my mom's closet. There was always something pulling me towards it.
Where did it come from?
I think my mom. My mom just, I look pictures of her from when she was younger and like, she was cool.
So when you were in 4th grade looking for those Steve Madden shoes, are your friends saying like, "What are you doing?"
So it's actually funny. In 5th grade, class would start I think around 9. I would always get dropped off an hour early. So I would kind of sneak into the classroom and we had computers there. And I would log on to neimanmarcus.com. It was a daily thing for me. I would log on to neimanmarcus.com. I had a notebook and a pen. And I said, okay, I'm working on this as if I have no budget. Let me go through each category: shoes, ready to wear, accessories. I don't know. And I was like, let me add this all to my cart and see how much money I would need to get everything I want.
How did you even know what Neiman Marcus
I
was?
don't know. I was nuts. The cart, this is the thing, I would literally write down every single item that I need for like a daily wardrobe, and I would max out at like insane amounts of money and be like, okay, I definitely need a good job. And then by 9 o'clock class would start and I have to close the tab.
In senior year of high school, you had an internship program, right, where you had to get an internship.
Yes, so in senior year of high school, the school that I went to, everybody was required to do an internship. And I said to myself, I'm gonna be the editor-in-chief of Harper's Bazaar one day. I'm gonna work, my butt off, and I'm gonna make it work. And that's my path. That's when I started researching, and I met a girl who did an internship at Marie Claire. And I reached out to her, I called her, and I'm like, hey, could you help me score an internship? So I called her, she's like, sure, I'll put in the good word. And I emailed the editor that was there and said, hey, I'd love to be a part of the team, let me know. And I was always kind of like that, I just threw myself into anything. I was never embarrassed, I was never shy. So I emailed her, she responded, come in for an interview, and I was jumping up and down, and I wrote up a whole resume and what I was gonna say. She called me in, I went in for my interview at Marie Claire, and the next day she emailed me and was like, we'd love to have you as a part of the team. But, I thought it was all glitz and glam. I thought, oh my God, fashion, I'm gonna be, little did I know, you have to swallow your pride too as an intern. Like there's so much you have to do. You have to agree to, whether it's fetching coffee, whether it's carrying extra pounds of garment bags and working till 10 o'clock at night. So.
But were you still excited about it?
I was the most excited person in that building. Like I would walk in 30 minutes earlier than I should be there. The goal for me was to continue growing, but I came out of high school and I got married right away. My wedding was a week after my graduation.
Your wedding was a week after your graduation?
My wedding was a week after my high school graduation. Yeah. So I graduated, I got married, and I was still kind of doing that internship in the summer after my wedding. And then at one point, I think, a time came where I said, okay, I'm either gonna be working till 11 o'clock at night and assisting in shoots or running around back and forth on a train, or I'm gonna start a family. Right. And there's nothing wrong with doing both. It's just I lived a little bit far from the city, so my commute would have been longer. And I think I just decided to take the safer route. So I put fashion on hold for a hot minute. I enrolled in CUNY College. I got my master's in social work.
So your fashion career was on pause?
You know, I really thought it was going to be an indefinite pause. I was convinced that I have to give it up and I'm going to have to do this and work in a school or work in, I did foster care agency internship. And I noticed when I was there that I love it, you know, I love working with people, but I just don't think this is for me.
Right.
And, you know, fast forward to me having my second child, and I said, you know what? I have 2 kids at home now, and let me just make an Instagram page. I made the page called Front Row Live, and I said, let me start posting a bag that I love or a pair of shoes that I think are really good for the season.
Right.
And slowly, I started posting looks and bags and shoes, and one day I remember I posted a Gucci bag and somebody commented, I'm obsessed with this. And then that person texted me and was like, I've been looking for this bag everywhere. Where did you get that picture? And I said, someone I know sent it to me from Gucci. They were like, oh, well, my associate told me it's sold out everywhere.
Well, her associate was wrong.
I said, I don't know who your associate is, but I have one. She's like, you do? Can I buy it? I said, sure. She's like, oh, are you a personal shopper? I'm like,
Now I am.
yeah, I'm a personal shopper. I sold it, and then I started posting more items, and I kept getting a couple more messages in here and there. Hey, where did you see this? Or hey, where are those shoes from? I've been looking for those shoes everywhere. And then last summer, I was sitting on my laptop. I had just had my 3rd baby, and I found these cool pair of shoes from Bottega Veneta that I really loved, and I posted them on the page, and the same thing happened. Someone called me and was like, where did you find those shoes? Like, I've been looking for those for over a month. I said, send payment, I have them. And she had her shoes within 2 days.
2015, you're sitting
Yeah.
on your couch.
Sitting on my couch.
You say, you know what, I'm gonna make an Instagram account and I'm gonna call it Front Row Live.
Yeah, so I was sitting on my couch and I thought of the name Front Row Live, and I said to myself, why Front Row Live before I make this, you know, my official name? And since I was in school, being on neimanmarcus.com, being on Vogue Runway from the morning, I would look for fashion shows to start live so I can watch them live. I always had this gut feeling, and it was a really big dream in my heart that I wanted to be in the front row. I still have that dream till today. Like, my #1 goal is to be front row at a fashion show. It's just something I always wanted. I can't
Did you ever
explain
do it?
why. I haven't done it yet. Never say never. But I said, if I'm gonna do this as a business and I'm gonna post things that I like, I'm gonna do it where people are gonna feel like they're in the front row at all times. So I said, I will post new arrivals. I will post first access to sale. I do wanna post the looks straight off the runway that launch each season. And what better way to give myself a name than Front Row Live? I said, they're always gonna be in the front row. It's always gonna be live. They can do it from their phone screen.
People are calling you, they're texting you, and they're saying, I need this designer bag, shoe, accessory, clothes, whatever it is, and I need it in this size, and I need it now.
I need it now and I can't find it anywhere. That's usually like my top request is, hey, I just left the store. They told me no one has this. I need it now. And I'm like, okay, let me see what I can do. And that's when my laptop opens and my iPad opens and I'm digging around and I'm texting too many amounts of people that I can't even list.
And so when you say you go across like various outlets to try to find the item, are these like secondhand sellers?
I never do secondhand. Everything I source is directly from a boutique. So I always try to get my clients to understand that if you're getting something from me, it's as if you went to the store and got it yourself. I'm not a reseller. I don't get things and then, you know, jack up the price. Everything my clients get are always retail. And I am here as a luxury service so that they can feel comfortable knowing that what they got was directly from a brand or store.
You're dealing with clients from around the world, to all different cultures. In one day, you could be talking to 40 people in 40 different countries.
I work with so many different people, different backgrounds, different race, different ethnicity, and it works for me because, again, I went to a school my whole life where everybody was kind of the same background, and I was probably the only girl in school who spoke Russian. and I was a little bit different than everyone else. So, you know, school can get cliquey. There's this clique and that clique, and I never really stuck to a particular clique. I was always floating. I'm a big floater. I would talk to this group, and then I would talk to that group, and I would walk around the lunchroom all day and just sit with different types of cliques, and I never stuck to one. And it's the same thing now, fast forward 10 years later, and I'm just floating all day. I'm grass hopping and floating, and I'm talking to 300 different people, and I get along with everyone. On a daily basis, I talk to at least 200 different people in all parts of the world. You know, I can wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning for a sip of water, and I have 40 unread texts.
How many requests do you get a day?
I would say a good 100 requests come in a day. Sometime in July, I was sitting on my phone, and I still have unopened texts. It's horrible. I have like 325 unopened texts, but I was looking at my Instagram requests, and it was over 100 once in like a day. And I was sitting on my couch, and my husband's watching a show, and I just started hysterical crying. And he's like, "Why are you crying?" I said, "I want to help everyone, but I only have 2 hands, and I can't do it anymore." And he looked at me, and he's like, "Jen, this is a good problem to have. This is not something you should be complaining and crying about." He's like, "If you need the help, we're gonna get you an assistant. And that's what you need to do. That's your first step into taking a load off." So I hired an assistant. She's been my rock.
Do you have any goals or aspirations on the front of you building more relationships with brands?
That's something that's actually been working incredible and going in the right direction. I hosted an event with Prada this summer where a friend of mine hosted a big event in her backyard, and I called Prada and I was like, "What do you guys think? Let's do something." And they said, "What do you think?" I said, this is good." They said, "Let's do it." So I got to pick, you know, over 60 pieces that I brought. You know, knock on wood, we sold everything. I have partnerships with e-commerce sites where I work as a stylist too. So I don't just work with one company. I don't just work with one brand. I pull from every single place I can possibly pull from. The brands at one point feel like, okay, well, she's beneficial because she's not one client. She's bringing us a large range of clients. And I think for that reason, they value me a lot.
So what's trending now?
What's trending now? I would say Chanel and Louis Vuitton are my top 2 brands. And I don't know, I mean, I practice what I preach, so.
I see you got some Louis pants
yeah,
there.
I got my Louis pants, my Louis boots, you know, so. I don't just post all day. I like to indulge myself sometimes and treat myself to some things that are currently available.
What's the hardest part of the job?
I think the hardest part about this job is people will tend to forget that I'm a human being, and I'll get hundreds of requests on the weekend, and if it's a Saturday and I don't answer, someone will be like, "Hey, can you answer me? Please, 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 can you answer me?" And I would love to be available 24/7 plus, but again, sometimes it's hard on the weekends. I just want to be with my family, or I want to unwind.
Why are they so desperate for an item on the spot? Like, it's
fashion.
I don't understand the emergency part.
I see a lot of people don't get it, but then there are a majority of people who are like, "I need it now."
Why?
I think fashion just gives a high that you cannot explain. When you put something new on for the first time.
So they need it.
They need it now. They want to feel that rush now that they got it before it's sold out. They don't want to be told no. People don't want to be told that they can't have something. So if you tell them it's sold out, I have friends who just like start convulsing if you tell them it's sold out and they can't get it. I literally have someone who buys something just because she's told she can't get it. She's like, "Well, now I need it. Now I want it."
And so all the people that are coming to you are people that have been rejected or have been told that it's sold out.
They've been rejected, they've been told they can't get it, or they really tried on their own and they couldn't, or they said, "Oh, this is taking too much of my time, let Jen find it." And I'm like, okay, I would love to help you.
They pay you a flat fee.
Yes, they pay me a flat fee.
How often do you go to the stores?
Every once in a while I go to the stores.
Check in.
Yeah, the stores will call me and
Do
be
they
like,
know you? You walk in, they say, "Oh, hey, Jen."
They know me when I walk in, or I'll say, you know.
Are they scared of you?
They're not scared of me. No, I mean, they can't be scared of me. I during a time of COVID, it's all these sales coming in,
Right.
and they're like, where are you finding these people? And I'm like, they find me, I don't know. The brands will come to me and say, this shoe is sitting here in size XYZ. It's gonna go on the floor and go to somebody random, or there's a possibility it won't sell. Do you think you can sell it? And I'm like, I already have a list of people waiting for it. Let's just knock it out right now.
Why wouldn't they give it to you?
Why wouldn't they, you know? So they really do reach out. They hope that I have someone to buy it, and it's kind of less work for them too. You know,
Yeah.
they don't have to
You're saving
convince
them
someone to
time.
get it.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
yeah.
I already have somebody waiting for it.
It's like you are the buyer. You're the customer.
Yeah, yeah. And then I get brands message me and say, would you mind looking at Vogue and telling us what you think will sell next season? So I'll get, you know, requests from my Chanel associates and my e-commerce sites, and they're like, we sent you an email of the entire lookbook that's coming next season.
Because they want you
They
to
want my opinion.
drive customers to
Yeah,
them.
yeah. They said, we're doing the buy in 2 weeks. Let us know what you think we should buy. And I'm like, okay, I could do that.